at your alma mater?
It's awesome, man. Getting a chance to come back where you played football at and get back over on the old turf is exciting.
Was this something that you dreamed of, the opportunity to come back and coach here at Ohio State?
Well, at one point, you wanted to come back. You know what I mean? So it hit at the right time to get a chance to come back here. Anytime when you spend your college years here at a extremely exciting career here. Met a lot of great people. It's a lifetime journey when you're here. You're family for life here. So a lot of former players still live here in the area. So it's been exciting to get a chance to come back to that. And it's a dream come true to come back to a place that you basically kind of grew up as a young man at.
Would you have expected a year or two ago when you were in the NFL that you'd be back here now?
No, you just kind of being in the NFL or college football, you don't know what path you're end up taking. So it's just kind of, those things work out at the right time. Sometimes you can want to come, but the timing is not right, or it's not an opportunity, but the job is open at that point. So it kind of has worked out this way. So it ended up being a great opportunity to get back home.
What have these first few weeks been like, getting used to college and getting used to recruiting again?
Just getting back adjusted to it. It's a little different when I first was doing it out on the road. But once you get back into the flow of things, man, it's all about relationships, and it's all about just getting back into the flow of it. So it's been a smooth process so far.
What were those first conversations with Ryan Day like, and what were your impressions of him and how it's been to work with him, so far?
Well, it's been great. First, I like to to thank Coach Dave for giving me the opportunity to come back. And it's been awesome so far. The opportunity that he gave me has been a blessing. Talking to him has been outstanding, man. I mean, he's a very thorough guy. Obviously he's a smart people's person, family guy. So everything was positive. Obviously being here, a lot of guys that he know of me. So that crossover there with knowing some of the same people, makes it a good fit for us.
And what about Coach Eliano working, hand in hand with him this year, with the secondary? What was your level of familiarity maybe with him and the coaching profession in general? And then
yeah, I had already knew up here, because like I said, being in this coaching profession for a while, man, that a lot of the same people. So I've been knowing him for a while. I hadn't had a chance to work with him before, but I've been knowing him. So it was good to get back. The thing about coaches, man, a lot of guys know a lot of the same people. So even though you don't necessarily work with them, you become friends with them and getting to know people throughout the journey of the coaching life.
Tim, how much different was it these past 3 weeks recruiting than it was in 2007? Obviously, college football has changed in an infinite number of ways, but it does always come down to relationships, right? And just being a person. But still, it has to just feel different. You got to be talking about different things than you did 15 years ago.
Yeah, because now it's such a social media, Instagram, Twitter. It's kind of that era now, and back then it was a lot more basic. And just getting back into the fact that getting on kids a lot earlier. Just the mindset of them. But it's been the relationships are relationships. That part never changes. So if you develop relationships with guys and at a place like this, the school sells itself. With the opportunity that presents itself for a lot of kids to want to come here, to get back and be able to sell that to kids based on being my alma mater. That's a great feeling. But it's still about relationships and just getting to know people and just getting back into a flow of it. But it was a good experience the first couple weeks.
Last I checked, you still don't have a Twitter account.
No, I will
is that in the contract? Like Tim Walton will not have a Twitter?
No, I will have it up soon. I will have one up soon.
Tim, what do you think are the biggest things you learned from all these years coaching in the NFL that you can now bring back here to Ohio State?
Well, just the playing the long game. I was in college before, and then, like I said, been in over a decade in the NFL. Just teaching guys technique and fundamentals that can last them. Because most of them won't have a chance to play on Sundays. So giving them a foundation that can make that journey into the NFL long lasting.
Having played here, do you think that helps you kind of adjust back because you know what it's like to be in these guys' shoes?
Yeah, it does help to actually play, here on this turf and practice here in this building, and then they try to give some of that experience to them. That's a good, benefit to be able to have to use as a selling point. The kids that want to play here, that actually played the game, and then coaching in the NFL helps that transition to them because they all want to have that opportunity. So it's kind of a good mix.
Were there any coaches while you were here that particularly inspired you to want to follow in the coaching path?
Well, we had a lot of guys that I've I had some, Fred Puggich, he coached and then went on to the NFL. He coached here at Ohio State, coached into the NFL. Ron Zook was here. Obviously, Gary Blackney recruited me and went on to become a college head coach. So all those guys, Zook became an NFL assistant coach and a collegiate head coach. So all those guys that I played for inspired me to want to take that journey and have those opportunities later in life.
Coach, what was communicated to you in those conversations with Ryan Day, maybe about what needs to change in this program from last year to this year on the back end and in the secondary especially?
Well, we didn't get into the details of that. Basically, it was just more of, me coming in and developing the guys and getting a relationship with the guys, and me, being a former player here, getting a chance to do that. Like I said, I've been in college before, and then I, the last decade been in the NFL, so it was just more of getting a chance to come back and get a chance to work here. He was excited about it. I'm definitely excited about it, but it's really didn't get into a lot of details of those things. Just more of the teaching, of trying to prepare those guys at the highest level.
And then what about maybe some of your first impressions of some of the guys that you're going to be working with? Obviously, Denzel Burke, super talented freshman this past year. Have you had a chance, to kind of dig in on maybe some film with those guys and as you build those relationships?
We haven't got into it yet because, like I said, I've been on the road. So, like I said, I'm just developing a relationship with them right now, talking, but haven't got into a lot of film stuff. Really, our first day as a staff today back together. So that'll hopefully come someday in the next couple of days this week.
What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for you going from the NFL to then coming back to college? I know obviously recruiting is a big thing, but maybe managing egos a little bit differently or something like that.
No, like I said, I think it still comes down to relationships. If relationships are relationships. I think that you just also have to be guys are a little younger, but I have kids as well. So I understand that that mindset of the new millennial kids, but I think just the relationship, if you develop the relationship, man, whether they're 17, 18, or whether they're 24, you'll probably have different conversations with them, but it's still about the relationship. And I think if you can make them better, and you can help them grow, and you can help them try to see that there's a chance that the things you're teaching them can help them achieve the goals that they want, I think they'll be open to listening.
What would you say was the biggest thing for you, the biggest draw for you to come back to your alma mater and coach?
Well, it's a winning program. I mean, you don't get any better than this. They play elite level football. You're gonna have a chance to play for it all every year. The fact that you played here, so you're familiar with the territory. All those things just lined up. And like I said, you don't get any better than this, man. I mean, this is like I said, high level football here, man, and you got a legitimate chance to go compete and go win at the highest level. And you're gonna coach and recruit guys that obviously have the ability to go play at the next level. And so you're gonna see good talent, and like I said, and the family tradition here and the people that I know just made it a no-brainer for me.
Is that the only way that you would have come back from the NFL for like a situation like this? Because it seemed like a pretty quality situation for you the last 12 years.
Yeah, it's this is a special place, man. Like I said, yeah, it had to be a special place like this, which it is. So that's what made it easy to do, exciting to do. Like you said, it's like a blessing, man. Like I said, you have a chance to play against the best of the best and be at the end of the year, you have a chance to play for all the marbles if you do the right thing. So, when you have that opportunity, I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about competing, and it's all about playing at the highest level. So when you get a chance to do that, you play in college football to have a chance at national championships. In the NFL, you want to get the Super Bowl. So, that's what competitors do. And the fact that you get to do it at a place that you have strong ties with makes it a bonus.
The 12 years you spent in the NFL, obviously that's a resume that can get a kid not come learn from a guy who just spent 12 years coaching at that level? And obviously, the Jalen Ramsey thing has happened at this point. When you're out on the recruiting trail over the last 2 weeks, have you kind of gotten that vibe from players that they understand what your resume is, and now it's just more about how quickly can you build a relationship with them?
Yeah, that's the thing now. The thing now is spending time building a relationship with guys. You know, the current guys on the team, you know, when you get recruits, you know, getting to know people and developing a relationship. I think over time, the rest of that stuff will take care of itself. You know, the relationship part is the most important part, you know, because once you get to know a person and they know you have their best interest, and then if you know that you can help them, they're open to communication. They're open to the trying things, you know. So I think that's where that's the foundation of it all, developing a relationship, and then, like I said, the resume and all that type of stuff. That takes care of itself over a period of time.
We've seen times here where OSU's rotated guys, putting 3 guys through 3 spots. We've seen only put 2 guys. I guess what's your overall philosophy on how many guys at those outside spots you want to play?
Don't really know yet. I think each situation is different and is all particularly based on what you have there at the time. You know what I mean? That's what we just got back in the office today. So we're doing the evaluation of the guys. We're getting the defensive stuff together. So we'll go through that, and then we'll try to make that determination over a period of time as we go through Coach Knowles and, you know, how he sees things, and then what we have available to do at that point.
I don't know if this is or isn't the case, but as you started your coaching career and progressed, how much of it was a goal in mind or desire that hope someday I get to go back and maybe do this in Columbus?
Well, it was always a thought, but you know how it is. You take so many different paths, man. You know, it has to line up right to do it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it may be where you want to come back, but, you know, the opportunity's not there. So it's always crossed my mind. But when it becomes a reality, it's a blessing. But, you know, as you're going through it, you just work hard. You try to do your best as you're going, and then, you know, you just kind of let it fall where it may on that from that standpoint. But it just it kind of worked out right timing, and like I said, I'm extremely excited about it.
So when you get that first call from Coach Day and the possibilities out there, an interview, whatever, I mean, what was going through your mind, and feel pressure to come through this time?
Well, no, it was just a great opportunity, because, you know, when the first call comes in, you don't know how it's still going to play out. Right. You know what I mean? So you just take it in stride, man, and then just say, hey, if the opportunity presents itself and everything works out, that you would love to do that, because, like I said, you going back to a place at the end of the day is elite level football, and you're competing, and that's what competitors do, and you get a chance to just do that at a place that you're very familiar with. So that makes it, you know, icing on the cake at that point to get a chance to do it like that, and like I said, and to get a chance to work for a great guy. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people that know Coach Day. This is the first time I'm getting a chance to work for him, but I'm excited about it, and I heard a lot of great things about him. So, you know, that makes it a blessing, man, when you get to work for somebody that you have great respect for. You heard a lot of great things about, and then, like you said, get a chance to come home, see a lot of familiar faces and things like that, man, and get a chance to win as you're doing it.
Did your history at Ohio State make it easier to kind of dive into the recruiting pool right away for you? Or?
Well, you know, the thing about it, recruiting, as you go out, some things never change with that. So you go back and you hit in certain areas. So, you know, before, when I was 12, 14 years, whatever I was in college, I recruited Georgia. I had some Ohio areas. I recruited Florida. So when you go out, you know, some of those same guys are still around, you know what I mean? Or they know people that you know that's still around, you know what I mean? So it kind of, once you get back into it, it made it a easy transition once you get back out there. It's a little different on certain things, but, you know, and then some people are away from the game now that I knew back then, but it's easy to get back into it, man, and get back on the road, and you start seeing people that hey, man, we worked together or saw each other out on the road 12 years ago.
But has the brand or aura surrounding Ohio State changed at all? Is that easy, the same pitch as it was, you know, when you were pitched to come to Ohio State?
I think it's probably done taken a level higher at that point. You know, at that point, you know, since then, you know, they put several national titles since then, you know what I mean? And then the brand is the brand, but it's next level now. You know, when you win championships and the amount of Big Ten championships they've won lately, and being in the national championship game, winning several of these national titles, it's a next level, elite level deal at this point.
Did you know Ryan Day at all before he called you, or you just got to know him the past month?
Yeah, I knew of him, you know, because of the fact that, you know, just my ties here with people that I know. Like I said, I met him before, and but, you know, didn't know him really well, but I had met him before and knew of him through other people that I've been around. So it was a good opportunity, you know, through people that he knew of, that knew me, to get a chance to, you know, to get a chance to talk with him and be in consideration for this job.
What was it like walking back into this building, you know, being around the just, you know, from a different perspective, obviously, as a coach, but what was it like kind of coming back in here the first time and doing these things, walking through halls that you used to walk through, stuff like that?
Oh, it was great, man. You know, like I said, it's a lot different than it was now. You know, a lot more memorabilia and a lot more, you know, accolades and stuff up on the walls and in the building at this point. And then, you know, obviously they've upgraded a lot of other things over there in the building. But it was just a great feeling, man, you know, to get back, you know, on your old stomping ground. So that's always a good feeling. And again, I still take it back to the fact that you're doing it also at a place where you know you have a legitimate chance to compete and win games, you know, and that's what it's all about, you know what I mean? So it was a great feeling. I'm excited about it, so I'm looking forward to working with the guys and getting to know and developing a great relationship with the players, and then making a run at this thing.
Tim, was there any conversation with Urban about Ryan Day, about who he is as a coach, about why Urban thought he was the right guy to take over for him here, but then obviously for you to come back here and work with Ryan?
No, we didn't have those conversations at all, because, you know, our season was getting to an end down there. So, you know, things kind of were scrambling and guys go, so we didn't get a chance to have a conversation, but we just knew people that knew of each other. So, you know, that's kind of where the dialogue started.
What was that experience like of working with Urban in Jacksonville?
Oh, it was good. Obviously, everybody knows the situation that ended up happening down there when they ended up letting him go, but my experience with him was good. It was fine. You know, Coach is a smart guy, man. You know what I mean? I learned a lot of football from him on things. So, like I said, didn't get a chance to experience the whole season with it, but the experience that I had and the time I had was all good.
Obviously, you guys, you know, had some trials in Jacksonville. You know, had some tough years. What do you maybe take away from that, learn from that you can now apply to being here?
Well, you always take the good out of everything, you know. So the how to build a culture, you know, how to try to the things to do and not to do on trying to build a program or build an organization, and then the things that I learned is, you know, on the development of guys there, on being able to bring experiences back to teach the college guys that have expectations or the dreams of playing in the NFL on the steps they have to take, and making sure that you do these things and check these boxes so you can not only make it there, but to stay there for a long period of time. That's the key.
Tim, I'm Tim May. I covered you as a player here way back when.
I remember.
Is that good or bad?
Yeah.
What have you learned most in your journey, though? I mean, from the standpoint, especially in the NFL, that helps you right now? Is it just like you know how to identify problems quickly? You know how to identify players quickly? What is it just that you know now that you didn't know 25 years ago?
The importance of a relationship. If you have the relationship, then that means you can go teach them. If they allow you to teach them, they'll get better. And if they feel that you can help them, they'll be willing to listen. But that all starts with the relationship. You know what I mean? Because if they have the relationship, because you know at times you got to coach guys hard. And if you have the relationship with them and then you coach them hard and they feel you can make them better, that doesn't change whether it's in college or the NFL. If they feel you can make them better and the relationship is right, they're willing to listen. And if they're willing to listen, they're willing to grow and get better. And that's the dream of a coach, and that's how you want it to play out for you.
Your first impression of Jim Knowles when you met him, I'm not sure you knew much about him until now. What just stood out to you? What stands out to you about him?
Sharp guy, man. Just, you know, in the small conversations, you can tell he has an elite thinking mind. You know, so when you have a guy that's real sharp, that has a real high football IQ, that helps you grow. You know, you always want to be in a position as a coach that you're continuing to grow. You know, you don't want to be stagnant. You know what I mean? So I know with with the stuff that Jim is going to do. You're going to have a chance to grow, you're going to have a chance to get better, and that's exciting, even as a coach.
Yeah, you personally, I can't imagine you being the source within the coaches' room down at Jacksonville. What went wrong down there with Urban and stuff? What did you just learn from that whole experience and stuff? And did you personally want a fresh start somewhere else? I mean, how would you describe your motivation for another return?
No, I just go about my day as a regular routine. You know what I mean? I kind of stay out of the way of all the extra that's going on. I coach and kind of stay in my lane, man, and then coach my guys, and try to make the team better and then develop relationship with the players. All kind of things go on all throughout sports. It happens in college and all that. And I think the more I control the controllable, and I work and do the things that's asked of me and kind of stay in my lane with those things, and then and all the rest of the stuff works out.
Did Urban seem frustrated though as the year went on? What was just your take on that?
No, I mean, not really. Everybody's frustrated when you don't win. I was frustrated. Because you want to win, because that's what competitors do. So everybody wants to win because you do this thing to win. That's the bottom line. You do it to win. You want to have a chance to win. So when that doesn't happen, obviously everybody goes through that part of it, man. Because that's the ultimate deal, man, is to compete and to be able to win games.
One last thing for me, anyway. Ryan said he called you, or they solicited you, not the other way around and stuff. What was your first reaction to knowing that Ohio State would be interested in you, that you could return here? You might have been here when this building first opened. I'm trying to remember your exact year.
89 to 93.
Yeah. He's only 2 years old.
Yeah. So just a blessing that the fact that it could be an opportunity. So when the phone call first came out, the fact that there's a possibility obviously brought great memories and great thoughts. And like, hey, if this thing does work out, that's a great blessing to get a chance, like you said, to go back. Because like I said, Ohio State, they're at the elite level, man. Like I said, this is the best of the best. So when you get a chance to come do that at a place that you're very familiar with, it's just icing on the cake.
How do you think out-of-state recruiting has changed for Ohio State in 30 years, since 1989?
Well, obviously, they've just made so much more impact over that period of time of grabbing guys out of state in the Georgia and the Florida area because of the fact we've been winning, they've been doing well, playing in championships, winning getting into the title game, so that brand is just a mega brand out there right now, so it reaches a lot of kids. So the kids want to come join that, man, because the same thing, they want to join winning programs, and they know that when you come here, the expectation and the reality is you have a chance to play for it all if you take care of the business and do the things you should do. That's a realistic opportunity, so it's just so so big now, man, with the fact that it's a big impact down south, out west, other places in the country that kids want to come here.
So what was it like when Coach Cooper comes to recruit you at that time, when they had it was more of a regional program recruiting at that time? Obviously Ohio State.
Yeah, but they were still starting to make that move a little bit. Not to the point like they are now, but they were still, because we had some guys from Florida on the team and from Georgia on the team at that time, So when we came up here, you still had Bobby Olive, you still had guys from Florida. Cedric came in a little bit before, but me and Foster Polk and guys like that, we came in together. I got Darren Lewis from out in California, So they had already had guys starting to come from different spots throughout the country at that point back then. But now it's just on another level.
Tim, I'm curious, just from your vantage point in the NFL, in the last 6 months, a year, college athletes are navigating NIL. Do you see any similarities between maybe NFL players who have that already with maybe college athletes who are just now getting into it for the first time?
Well, I don't really know, because this is new, the NIL is new, so I don't really know the details of that. That's kind of a fresh start for everybody with that, so I'm kind of just watching and learning as that part of it goes, so I'm really unfamiliar with that area.
Have you paid attention to it in the last year, how it's gone, and how athletes are kind of taking advantage of it? And a lot of people say the Block O has a lot of power with it to bring about those NIL opportunities.
Yeah, I watched it, but I didn't dive too deep in it because obviously I wasn't in college at that time. So, now just getting back, I'm starting to learn it as we go, and then I just kind of take it day by day and step by step on on learning how all this works together and how it ties in.
Tim, you've obviously had
Last question.
a long career in the NFL, the last decade plus. Did you think, oh, maybe I'd like to get back into the college ranks someday, or was it something specific about the opportunity at Ohio State that interested you?
It was really the opportunity here at Ohio State. Like, this is a special place, man. You know what I mean? For me. When that opportunity came, it was just an excitement and it could be a blessing of opportunity. So definitely had to take a look at that. You know, like I said, I played here. It's a family atmosphere. You get a chance to win. You get a chance to compete at a high level. So when that opportunity came, you know, the brand is big. You know, and I think you can achieve all your goals from here, and you get a chance to, you know, to work with young men that usually leave here and go play at the next level. You know, so you coaching guys that usually go on and play at the next level. That's the type of talent level that you're getting here. And then just getting a chance to come back home and, you know, doing that a place where you played for. So it's an easy selling point for me, the kids, because I know the roots here. I know the groundwork. I know the foundation. So it's easy for me to tell about, you know, the history and the tradition that's here. Even though it's really expanded since I left, and they've won a lot of games, a lot of championships, but still I can go back and share some things with, you know, new guys coming in on how it used to be in the history and the tradition here.
Did you try to get back here before, Tim?
We might have had conversations before at one point, and that's what I tell people all the time. It all has to work out right. You know what I mean? They always have to work out the right timing to do it, but I can't remember exactly when. But I think some point, because I've been on coaches for a long time now, man. But at some point, yeah, we had conversations at some point.
Tim,
Last question for real.
does it feel a little surreal being back in this building where you practice, spend time? I mean,
Yeah, it does, man. Like you said, I was walking the halls and stuff, and just being back in here. You know, used to practicing here, so it is. Like I said, it's special, man. So I'm embracing it all and looking forward to it, and just gonna try to make sure I go out and do my best and work hard and try to give the kids and the young players a chance to develop and help them achieve the dreams that they want to do.
Thank you, Coach.